yeah, hopefully that was worthwhile networking. We also encourage people to stick around at the close of Edalexpo if you'd like to continue those chats that maybe got cut off short. But yeah, terrific. Well, the other thing as part of our roadshow that we heard loud and clear was some confusion around reporting in Aquella. We know reporting is certainly complex, but what became clear was the fact that some of our clients weren't aware of how information in Aquella can feed up into other reporting platforms that you might be using at your institution, such as Power BI. And or weren't aware for those that are hosted clients of the reporting database that gives a little bit of extra flexibility in the area of reporting. So what we thought we'd do is ask Nelson to talk a little bit more about reporting in openEQUELLA, and hopefully that will help shed a little bit more light in terms of the capabilities of reporting outside of the Aquella platform. So Nelson, if you'd like to share your screen. I'll hand over to you.
Okay, thanks, Al. All right, so in this session, I'm not going to do a demo or something, but it is more, something that helps remind or give everyone some ideas what they can do with reporting. All right, so Aquella is a repository, and I think most of us already know that it is not designed for reporting. So it is, honestly, as a consultant, as part of the team, I think we're not doing reporting well as well. But again, because there's not Aquella's main functionality. On the other hand, the data stored in Aquella is valuable because we have the item metadata. We have all the metadata of all the resources we have there. We have the system access log. Let's say who has logged into Aquella, who hasn't, how many people are using Aquella, etc. And then we also have the content log, which, for example, like how many views are there, how many downloads are there. I mean, all those types of logs, as well as some other logs. Let's say who has purged the item. I mean, one of the items is just lost. Who have purged it? We do have all these different type of data or information within Aquella's database. So yeah, in our roadshow, clients feedback that we would like to know how Aquella can work with the BI tools so that they can understand, or they can understand usage or dig into the data they have and try to get something valuable from it. Right, so there are, in order to connect to the Aquella and making query to Aquella, there are two main approach. The first approach is to use what we call the Aquella connector that is provided in the BERT reporting tool. So we provide a reporting tool that is based on BERT, and we have customized connector. Why this connector? You can communicate with the database. Via openEQUELLA. So that means you don't need direct database access to. You don't. Let's say if I am a user, you don't really want me to connect to the database directly in most cases, especially like right now we have work from home and a lot of these. This remote type remote working environment actually will have a lot of issues if we need direct database access. Mainly of the security reasons. So the good thing for Aquella connector is we're not directly connecting to the database, and then also we also provide some additional tools for easier metadata and user data extractions. Why this connector? So if you are using this connector, in the connector option, you can actually go select whether you want to query an item, you want to query a user, or you just want to extract metadata. So you have different options that make things easier. Just imagine you need to write SQL statements or something to extract the XML from the metadata that's stored in Aquila. That is actually, not an easy one. But on the other hand, using the Aquila connector, you can potentially use up your Aquila's database connection. So basically Aquila has two data sources you can define. One is for reporting. One is for Aquila's core functions. But when the reporting, if you did not define reporting JDBC connections, or when it is used up, the BERT reporting tools connector here, Aquila connector here, will try to use Aquila's database connection. And if your report is not well designed, or you didn't take this connection into your consideration when you're creating the reports, you may use up Aquila's database connection, and then Aquila will just throw exception, cannot acquire the connections for what the core functionality needs, and Aquila will just hang. So that's the first problem with the first drawback with the Aquila connector. And then it can impact Aquila's performance because it used Aquila's server's resources. Let's say if a very simple example, data joins. So joining data from multiple tables, it is much slower and it's much more resource expensive to make those queries via the Aquila connector, because Aquila connector will get all the results from different tables and then try to match those stuff together. All right, so alternatively, you can use a normal JDBC connection. So that means you can use it via the BERT reporting tools, or you can use just simply via your BI tools. So the advantage of that is definitely faster query. As I mentioned earlier, the Aquila connector use the system resource to do those database queries and joins. But with the JDBC connector, we are actually tapping into the database directly, which means we write queries and database is optimized for those operations like searching tables, joining tables, grabbing data, etc. And then the other good thing is, of course, it can run outside Aquila, because your BI tool can also make a JDBC connection to your Aquila database. But the cons here is it requires direct database access. So, for example, if you are working remotely or something, maybe you need a VPN to get back into your local network environment before you can connect, etc. The accessibility will be an issue here. And then Aquila schema is complex. So as I said, extracting with the Aquila's connector, because it provides tools like you can just mention which item and which metadata path, then the tool within the Aquila connector will just extract those data for you, right? But if you're working with the JDBC connections directly, you need to write SQL statements to join multiple tables and then extract XML stuff. And Aquila's schema is not normalized, and so it's just more complex to write these SQL statements. So again, it may impact the database performance when you're running your reports through your BI tools, because it just uses database resources. Right. So here is is how we are handling. We're trying to handle this in our hosting environment, trying to reduce the risks of. So right here, what we want to do is we want to reduce the direct access to Aquila's database, and then we want to prevent the reportings to affect Aquila's performance. So what we are doing here is we have an internal ETL process, so which means ETL means extract transformation load. So in short, basically this process will extract all the data from the Aquila's production database, and then we are transforming it into a more simpler database schema, which is easier to understand in a normalized format. So when your database administrator or the developers of BI or the BI tools developer look into the Aquila's, look into this database, it will be much more easier for them to know what to do or how to extract the data from this from here. And then the tool run every night so that we can minimize the impact on the database performance for the Aquila's normal operation. And we store the transformed database structure into a separate database, which we call the reporting database. So in our hosting environment, we whitelist the clients' IP addresses so that they can access the reporting database directly. So in our hosting environment, none of our hosting clients can actually access Aquila's database directly. We just forbid that because of security reason, right? So, but in this reporting database, we are setting it up in our VM zone, and we just whitelist a few IP address from the client so that they can connect to the database directly. And then when they connect to when the clients connect to this reporting database, they can use even if they're using the bird reporting tools to develop Aquila reports, they can actually connect to this reporting database so that it will not affect the Aquila's core functionality. Or they can create reports, let's say with the BI tool, and connect to the reporting database directly. That is another option. But again, the limitation is only those whitelisted IP address can connect, even no matter whether you're using BI tools or other environments. And lastly, the clients may actually just set up another process that pulls data from the reporting database back to the data warehouse, let's say every night, so that they have all already centralized in their own data warehouse for any BI reporting purposes. Right. So I hope this will also give you, even if you are self-hosted, this will give you an insight how you can separate the Aquila's, how you can generate reports from Aquila, extracting data from Aquila while not impacting your production environment.
Terrific, Nelson. Just actually a quick. I'll let you finish, then I'll ask you the question.
Okay. Yeah. So looking ahead, what we are looking ahead for report is we are throwing some ideas around like query with AI or MCP tools that may connect to Aquila and extract things, and we can just ask AI to do the data analysis for us. These are different options that we are looking ahead to see what we can do with in terms of reporting. Right.
Terrific.
So that's it.
Yeah, fantastic. Thanks, Nelson. As I mentioned, we just thought that was important so people have a little bit more of understanding. I know there's a few comments in the chat. I think in interest of time and knowing some people might need to leave on the hour, feel free to stick around, or Nelson, if you can answer the questions in the chat via the chat, that would be very valuable.